New witness testimony is expected tomorrow before a New York grand jury as they consider charges against former President Trump. At a campaign rally this weekend, Trump remained defiant, labeling the multiple investigations into his conduct as witch hunts. But he could face a historic indictment this week. Here's ABC senior investigative reporter Aaron Katersky.
Tonight, former President Trump waits to see if this will be the week he is indicted. With possible new witness testimony expected tomorrow, the Manhattan case involving hush money paid to porn actress Stormy Daniels was on his mind at his first big rally for 2024.
From the beginning, it's been one witch hunt and phony investigation after another.
Trump devoted most of his rally to his own legal troubles, trying to turn them to his political advantage.
The weaponization of our justice system is not, as some have called it, a political spectacle. This is the central issue of our time.
Trump supporters who spoke to our Rachel Scott, unfazed by the multiple investigations into the former president.
Would a possible indictment change your support for him?
No.
Why?
You're chasing ghosts. I mean, you're chasing after stuff that's not there. This man's been under investigation for 6 stinking years.
On social media, Trump has warned of potential death and destruction if he is charged. Just days ago, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg received a letter with a death threat saying, "Alvin, I'm going to kill you," and a white powder, later deemed non-hazardous.
The horrific activities that took place on January 6th, God willing, we will not see them repeated this week, should any one of these cases move forward on Trump.
Protests that Trump has called for have not materialized, but the hostile rhetoric has put the courthouse behind metal barriers and compelled Bragg to reassure staff members who have received offensive or threatening messages. The grand jurors are expected to reconvene here tomorrow, and Lindsay, when they do, it will be under tighter security. Lindsay?
Aaron, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.
Levi Strauss, Levi Jeans fortune. His great-grandfather founded Levi's. He's worth $250 million. He doesn't need this. He does it for a reason, the same reason you and I do it, because we're trying to protect democracy. And if they thought letting some Democrats onto the panel that were handpicked by Hakeem Jeffries, they'd be able to control the narrative, it's going terribly for the Republicans. If you want to know what winning looks like, this is winning from the minority position of the Democrats. And you got the same problem on the Twitter side, Ben. What did you think about the Twitter executives, basically, as Jamie Raskin said, confirming there was no collusion between the administration and Twitter, that Twitter, for its own self-interest and its own survival instinct, decided not to run certain stories because they were misinformation?
In fact, if there was any administration trying to influence Twitter, it was the Trump administration consistently over everything, over almost any insult that came Donald Trump's way. One of them was a Chrissy Teigen insult where Trump had the government demand that Twitter take down a Chrissy Teigen post because she called him a mean name. And so, again, everything that Trump accused and everything MAGA Republicans accused Democrats of, there's not only no evidence to support it, but all of the evidence is that the MAGA Republicans were doing it. In fact, what we learned from the Twitter hearings is that the Twitter actually, because the MAGA Republicans try to basically like play the refs, right, and try to intimidate the refs so that the refs can, rule in their favor, Twitter changed a lot of its existing policies to not remove Donald Trump and other MAGA Republicans because they violated the decency policies so much that Twitter's like, we have to make exceptions for it because these are government officials. So they actually went out of their way to allow things that were per se violations of Twitter policies. And these aren't conservative ideas. That's why I say never call these MAGA Republicans conservative. It's not like they're being removed from Twitter because they have a certain view about economic policy or tax cuts. These are maniac human beings who are attacking survivors of school shootings. These are maniacs who are defaming victims of school shootings. These are maniacs spreading COVID disinformation. These are maniacs who are platforming Vladimir Putin conspiracies. These are maniacs who are saying horrific and racist things that if anybody else said it, they should be removed from a platform. Like, could you imagine people talk about, oh, Twitter is a town square? You know, Marjorie Taylor Greene enters into the town square and starts saying all of the things she says on Twitter. Oh, wait a minute. She does do that now in the House of Representatives. We saw her dress like a spy balloon. And this isn't me making fun of her outfit. This is what her team said.
This was the feather boa outfit?
Yeah, her own office said she wanted to dress up like the Chinese spy balloon, and then she proceeded to yell the whole time, and these MAGA Republicans yelling at President Biden's most incredible speech I've ever seen in the history of like States of the Union speeches, as he just did exactly what the Democrats did here in these committee hearings. And because these MAGA Republicans, though, they also underestimate Democrats, and why I said in the front, like, they think their shit don't stink, or I called it their fascist farts, or whatever I called it, though, it's because they live in their own echo chamber, which is not a world of decency. In a world of decency, you say any of these things at a corporation, you get fired. Big company, small company, nonprofit, and not because you're getting canceled, it's because you're a raceful, hateful, bigoted conspiracy theorist, and that's not a way you can work with individuals and human beings. You're acting like a basement-dwelling 4chan conspiracy theorist Nazi in public. Yeah, you should be fired. That's not being canceled. That's being held accountable. That's what's taking place.
But Ben, that's how they got elected. That's their constituency. That's what they run on. So of course they're going to act like that. But you said just one thing about the speech. Yes, he gave a great speech. Joe Biden, certainly one of the more memorable ones. But he was best on his feet when he rope-a-doped them at the end to get the Republicans to commit to Medicare and other social safety net things, because they weren't expecting that he would have the ability off the cuff to ad lib as effectively as he did. He lured them in to a trap that they didn't see coming, because they're so busy. It's so easy to sit in the back like you're, a sophomore in high school and you don't like the show that's being put on the stage. Liar. And then he's like, oh, really? Let's talk about that. But off script, which is where I know I talked to people about this, and I know his handlers were probably getting white-knuckled at that moment, but he was the best off script. If you don't think an 80-year-old has the vim and vigor to run for office and re-election, you haven't met Joe Biden.
Yep, and you saw these MAGA Republicans exposing themselves at the State of the Union, exposing themselves at these committee hearings. Again, every accusation was something that they did, and in that format, Democrats are just crushing them. They might as well have been Democrat hearings showing what maniacs the MAGA Republicans are to the country. How incredible was that to see? We also broke some news here on the Midas Touch Network. I have that show with it's called Political Beatdown, that I do now with Michael Cohen. We do it live Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern, and then Thursdays as well, 9 a.m., 12 Eastern, morning and early afternoon if you're on the East Coast. And look,
I don't feel Trump should be in trouble. that's unconstitutional, I feel, to indict a president.
This is a political attack.
Yes.
They're not charging somebody else for this crime.
Yes. Yeah,
They
hold on. Everything is political.
Right. They did charge somebody else with this exact crime.
Yeah, and so why should he be charged?
Well, Michael Cohen was charged, pled guilty, served time in jail.
Disloyalty.
It's loyalty.
If it ain't loyalty, it's nothing.
This is about a man who cheated on his wife with a porn star while his wife was at home with their newborn son. But loyalty is a big issue for you.
Listen, we men. I don't feel Trump should be in trouble.
What is up, everyone? Coach D Speaks here. So Drag Queen Story Hour has been around for years. There's never been an issue with it. RuPaul. Remember RuPaul? Like, RuPaul's literally America's favorite drag queen. She's 62 now. She's been around for a long time, and there's never been an issue with her. But now in this day and age, when the Republican talking point is that everything is woke, or everyone is trying to sexualize our kids, you have groups like the Proud Boys showing up to protest Drag Queen Story Hour. Drag Queen Story Hour is nothing more than people dressed in costumes reading books to kids. It's been around for a while without any instance at all. But again, the Proud Boys like to show up at these events and cause chaos. Well, this time in New York, the tables were turned. And I don't even condone violence. I think people should be allowed to protest. But the knee-jerk reaction to the Proud Boys showing up is that stuff is about to go down. So I think sometimes people are on edge and they're waiting for that. But when the tables were turned on the Proud Boys, they didn't like it. Check out this video.
I'm an EMT. I came here to help people, not get the shit beat out of me.
I have two other fucking buddies out. No, they put in a car. Where's your car?
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Fuck you people.
You keep trying to take my picture. I don't know what he's doing with it.
Let's go.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Go home. Not welcome to New York. We don't like Proud Boy Walking.
Can you tell us what happened?
What the fuck? Out of our city. Come back to Long Island, you fucking Hey, welcome back to Long Island, Proud Boys. To help anybody. You back to Long Island.
Joe, come on. Where'd you go?
Let's go, old man. Fuck the Proud Boys! So you can fuck. I need the police to pay my subway fare. I need the police to pay my subway. Do you guys have an extra Metro card?
You don't have the car, is what you're talking about. No, my buddy has the ticket for the car.
And the car's in the lot?
Yes.
And where's the lot?
On 18th Street.
All right, so we're going to try to walk you over there, but who's got the keys, your buddy?
So at the beginning of that video, he says, I'm trained as an EMT. I came here to help people not get the shit kicked out of me. Why are you showing up with the Proud Boys then? Because that doesn't tell anyone that you're here to help them. It tells them that you're a bigot. Yeah, that's it. And why are you there? Why are you there? If the Proud Boys are not there, there would be no one there that would be in need of help. You know what would happen if the Proud Boys didn't show up? People would dress up in costumes. They would read to kids. The kids would go home happy, and the drag queens would go home happy. And that would be it. The Proud Boys need to stay the hell up out of those situations. And here's the deal. No one is forcing your kid to go to a Drag Queen Story Hour. Parents who want to allow their kids to sit and listen to drag queens read them a story should be allowed to without you guys intervening. And again, I'm 100% against violence against these people. I'm also 100% in favor of them being able to protest. But I'm 100% in favor of making the situation uncomfortable for them and letting bigots, racists, misogynists, and homophobes know exactly what you think of them. I'm 100% in favor of making it so uncomfortable that they get the hell out of there like they were doing. It's amazing to me that they just keep showing up to these things. And here's the thing. Let's be real here. You weren't there to help anyone. The history of the Proud Boys is that you guys show up to cause chaos. And that's what you were there for. But the tables were turned. People were ready for you. They outnumbered you instead of you outnumbering them. And now suddenly you're the victim. Wow. Here's the deal. Allow people to live. Allow them to do what the hell they want and stay out of their business. You run your family the way you want to, and you allow other people to run their family the way that they want to. It is that simple. Period.
The best part of waking up? MAGA Tears in my cup. Check out the new MAGA Tears mug available now at store.MidasTouch.com. That's store.MidasTouch.com. It's 100% union made right here in the USA. I know I'm not tired of winning yet. How about you? Get yours today.
Another explosive filing in Dominion's $1.6 billion defamation lawsuit against Fox, and it was just unsealed. More emails, more text messages, and more deposition transcripts that we have not yet seen before today have been released, showing how Fox maliciously and intentionally spread election disinformation about the 2020 election. The decision to spread election disinformation went all the way up to the top, to Rupert Murdoch himself. His deposition transcripts were prominently featured in this recently unsealed filing. The filing also exposed Rupert Murdoch using Fox to promote Republican candidates like Lindsey Graham, providing the 2020 Trump campaign with Biden campaign TV ads before they were even released, and providing other confidential information that Fox had received about Biden, like deposition prep stuff and things like that. Some real frightening and despicable stuff here. On the topic of frightening and despicable stuff, Donald Trump went on his social media platform over the past 48 hours to again threaten and attack special counsel Jack Smith, calling Jack Smith, and this is a direct quote from Donald Trump, a mad dog psycho, a thug, and further attacking Jack Smith's wife and family and friends. Look, folks, we've said it before and we'll say it again. Trump is a menace to the world. He is a menace to democracy who needs to be locked up yesterday. After the Republicans were called out and exposed for their plans to repeal or sunset Social Security and Medicare, they're now shifting gears, right? They're shifting gears to cut trillions of dollars in Medicaid, to cut $600 billion in the Affordable Care Act funding, to cut $400 billion in food stamps, and to have the budget for the Head Start program, which provides comprehensive early childhood education, health and nutrition, and parent involvement services to lower income children and families. And Republicans intend to demand that this be implemented, or they are going to force America's debt into default, to cause America to forfeit on its full faith and credit. President Biden has responded. We will talk about it here. And in between calling for civil war and national divorce for red states, the MAGA Republican leader, Marjorie Taylor Greene, is pretending to be a fitness influencer, and she's posting videos of herself flailing violently and oddly from pull-up bars and doing push-ups. Yeah, you're seeing it right here. She's posting this for those
Come on.
for those who are just listening and not watching. Thank me later. And for those for those watching,
I looked the best parts.
I am so sorry. As I said before, you are watching fascism meet weirdness, and we cannot let ourselves ever be gaslit that this is normal, as large media networks try to do. But there's no doubt that there is a genuine civil war, if you will, going on within the Republican Party right now between the Trump and DeSantis factions. For example, CPAC, which promotes itself as the organization and go-to event of domestic terrorists, led by a man who was recently sued for groping the genitals of a Republican male staffer. That's now being viewed as essentially a Trump event. So DeSantis and Pence have said they aren't going there because they're going to get booed. And you have Trump continuing to attack DeSantis every day and calling him de sanctimonious. Look, enough of this MAGA Republican madness, people. We need stability. We need decency. We need compassion. We need competence. This is the Midas Touch Network. I'm Ben Meiselas, joined by my brothers Brett and Jordy Meiselas. I don't know if you noticed on that intro, I'm not tired right now. With all of the madness, I've been trying to make the tone.
People have noticed.
Some
People have
calm,
noticed.
Ben.
Yeah,
I need because the reality is that it does, when I see some of this weirdness and this fascism, it does kind of make me upset. But I just think a calmer projection of it is probably a better way to.
I think it's healthier for you, B. I think it's probably better on your blood pressure that you react like that. But yeah, I could see it both ways. I like both of your deliveries.
When you watch the video like that of Marjorie Taylor Greene, like how else sometimes are you supposed to react?
What was that?
Brett, how are you doing, Brett?
We'll get into that, but it's nice, Ben, because this is a little respite for people from the chaos, where we get to dissect the chaos and we get to expose just how ridiculous it all is. And sometimes you need to expose the ridiculousness and the silliness and the weirdness of the fascism. But what we have really seen today, I mean, when I saw the Fox files that were released, what was it, last week?
Yeah,
my jaw was on the floor. When today's dropped and I started to read through this filing in the Dominion $1.6 billion defamation suit against Fox, where we saw even more correspondence internally at Fox between executives, between hosts, between producers. We got the Murdoch transcript of his deposition, and reading those just shows truly the powers that we are up against here, folks. I mean, this is really, really no joke. And that's why this community is so important. And that's why it's all the more impressive that all of you, think about this, all of you were able to take on this Fox propaganda machine. And they were targeting Senate races. They were targeting congressional races. They were spreading lies and disinformation, and still do to this day. But I'm specifically talking about the 2020 election right here. But they were doing all that, and you guys stood up to them, and you guys defeated them. And that's why this community is so important. And that's why it's so essential for us to dig into this. I am excited to dig into this. I am enraged, and I'm trying to keep my calm voice on too, Ben, because I could be screaming about Murdoch here and all the corruption that's going on at Fox. But a lot to talk about. But right off the bat, I just want to say thank you, Midas Mighty. Thank you to this community, because it's you that is the antidote to this poisonous fascism that is pervading this country. Jordy, how are you, sir?
I like that, Brett. That was really
that's
well
off the
said.
dome. That's off the dome.
Jay. I bet it was. It seemed off. You're a poet. Look, I want to mix it up here real quick. I'm doing great. What we tend to do at the end of the show is tell people to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm doing that now. Look, we just crossed over 900,000 subscribers on the YouTube. And it's all thanks to you who watch every single day and listen every single day. So please, right now, we're on our way to 1 million subscribers. We've deemed it the Midas Million Member Subscriber Marathon Month. We're going to hit 1 million. Just come on, hit subscribe, and let's hit that 1 million this month. Let's do it.
Well, I much prefer you telling people to subscribe to our YouTube channel than how you started off the last podcast by
I
telling
thought it was-
everybody how you had a hairy back and how you want to
not what I
shave your
said.
hair.
It's not what
I
said.
thought
I didn't
that's
say
where
that
they was
every
heading to. I was worried. I wasn't sure how that transition was going to work after
What'd you say, Jordy? That
said
you
I
had to shave
shaved-
your
I
back?
said I shaved. It's such a lawyer move by Ben right there. You said you're just connecting two lines. I didn't say that, Ben. I said I shaved my back. Today I'm wearing compression shorts. Why? So I could be more aerodynamic.